Morris, tell me this. What do
Sure.
you do for fun?
Yes, I saw that on your video and I love it and I adopted right away.
Welcome to the Morris Churka Show, a humor broadcast where we hear the thoughts of experts to help you laugh more and live life more fuller.
Hello, everybody, and how are you doing? Today, oh my goodness, I have a special guest, and her name is Lisa David Olson. I mean, like a world famous business humorist who uses humor to connect teams and inspire creativity. Lisa is an interactive speaker, author, podcaster, and a performer that knows how to energize from stale thinking and turn it into vibrant ideas. She's a multi TEDx speaker, speaker mentor, and self proclaimed accountability buddy. Lisa's new book, From the Spotlight to Real Life, offers tips from the stage to reignite teams and spark communication skills. Plus, she's a creator of Dare Zone, a fun interactive card game of prompts. Are you ready, buddy? Let's dive in with Lisa Olsen.
Bump, bump, na 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 na, bump, bump, na 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 na, bump, bump, oonch, 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 oonch. I'm so hip. Thanks for letting me be on your show, Morris. This is great.
Oh my goodness. I am so excited.
Long time listener, first time guest.
Ooh, I like that. Hey, hey, I watched all your TED Talks. I've been watching your videos. Like, yes, I've been kind of stalking lately, right? But oh my goodness, a humorist? Wait, okay, for those who don't know, Lisa, would you be kind enough to share what is a humorist? Humor me on that one.
Heck yes. I'm a business humorist. So that means whenever I speak to a corporate event or lead a workshop or mentor a speaker, I generally find the humorous parts. Sorry about that. That was great timing, wasn't it? This is my baby bird. Forgive me if this is audio.
Sorry.
I generally find the humorous parts to add because if you tell your story, that's fantastic, but you want to have the levity moment. You want to have different emotions. You cannot always keep it up here. You sometimes have to bring the serious note. What's my lesson? You definitely have to have levity to give
Ooh,
the audience that moment, that break. And humor is a connector.
right. And yeah, that's interesting you say that how you got to bring it up here and then bring it down here. Because to keep them up here, that's physically and mentally and emotionally draining on somebody. So how do you play with that to give that? As a friend said to me, kick them in the balls and make them laugh.
Well, there's that. Certainly that's an option should you run out of other ideas. But I've been doing sketch comedy and improvisation for 2.5 decades. And what I've learned from doing so many shows is that the audience definitely wants to laugh and they know to expect that with my comedy troupe.
Hmm.
But you cannot always keep it up. And if you notice, now that we're talking about it, when you notice when you watch a show, even a sitcom, let's just pick on Friends because most people know Friends. There were the serious moments or the I'm looking for something moments, and then the jokes. But it
Right,
wasn't all jokes. There was a meaningful plot to each episode. So you've got who are they? And you've got what's the situation? And you've got what's the out. And I know you talked to Travis about that. I think his name was Travis in the purple shirt. And he had the moments of threes. And I absolutely aligned with that. And I call it the conflict is the middle one. So you've got your
Right.
who are we, the conflict, and the out. Now that you know that, you're going to look at every sitcom, listen to every podcast, all the stories that you're reading have that. So
Mm,
that's what makes it interesting. The next time you watch a movie, are they showing who they are? Are they setting up what's going on? What's the conflict that we have to fix? And then
right.
the out. And generally, if there's a humor moment in there, we're really along for the ride. Humor connects us. It You and I are connected through humor. You've got ridiculous puns. I'm a punstress myself, and that connects people. There's times that you may not even speak the same language as someone. Maybe you're in the store and maybe that person doesn't even speak your same language, but you could see something visually. Let's pretend a dog came in riding a unicycle and he goes to produce and he starts juggling oranges. We will find delight and awe in that moment. And now we're bonded because we just witnessed that together. No language needed. But when those moments happen, we connect.
And you're right. Humor, there is no language barrier. I I remember once I was at a place and it was fairly serious and calm, and they go straight, like, shh, quiet. And here I am standing there, and right in front of me is a little kid looking at me, and I'm doing this.
That's a talent right there.
Right? And next thing the kids are laughing. Mom goes, "Shh, be quiet, be quiet." And next thing the kids are laughing, and the kid knows the kid looking at me, turns around, and the lady knows me, is like, "Oh, Mar, stop it."
Getting those kids in trouble. What a joy.
I didn't do anything.
I didn't do it.
Yeah. And you're right. To have that different contrast, to laugh when you're like, yay, we won the cup, we won the championship, and we can joke around and laugh, yay. To, you know what? We're at a funeral. Good old John Doe. You know, he was such a character. Do you remember that one day he did that? Yeah, I remember that. Right? It can really take the edge off things and make the hard times and the great times in greater.
And that's why a lot of funerals are not called funerals anymore. They're called celebration of life because people know the value of humor. They know the value of believing that the memory of a person, you don't have to mourn, that you can celebrate the goofiest stories and bond over that. I know that's what I want in my wake. I leave laughter in my wake, but when I'm truly gone, I certainly don't want that. I want the jokes. I have it in my will that you have to tell your favorite punchline. I actually am awful at telling jokes because I'm an improv artist. So I'm awful at the jokes. I just want that punchline, man. So my favorite thing, one of my favorite games is just let's share punchlines. And it's so stupid. And stupid is good because stupid is silly.
That's a game. Let's share punchlines.
I made it up. Yeah. We just tell punchlines only. It's ridiculous. And
So
sometimes
no,
you might know the joke.
no, it's kind of like that classic joke. Why did sorry, a horse walks into the bar and the bartender goes, "Why the long face?" So instead of that, you just go, "Why the long face?"
That's right. It's exactly it. And a lot of people might know the joke. And if they don't, it's still pretty ridiculous.
Oh, so to see the other side.
Exactly. It was too tired. Hey.
Ah, that is fun. That would be something to do with a whole bunch of friends and family, and just think of punchlines only. That is hilarious all by itself.
It's so fun. It's ridiculous. But that's my brain because I'm a great storyteller, but when it comes to jokes, I just rush right to the end because I just want that laughter. I'm just wanting that buzz, so I'm just a laugh chaser.
Come on, give me my dopamine fix on the humor here. Like, yay!
Yes, yes, exactly. Give me my adrenaline fix, man.
Wow. And so when don't make me ask you, kind of switching gears a bit here. So when you're on stage or you're in front of a corporate or in front of people there, okay, corporate sometimes when they get that job opportunity, okay, check humor out at the door, goodbye. How do you get them to laugh and feel engaged and to let their hair down?
Well, in your case, it's easy to let your hair down, but for corporate, you basically want to make sure that we're just humans in a room. That's all it is.
Yeah,
I don't know generally who is the CEO compared to the VP compared to,
the janitor and
yes, right, or the accountant, whatever. We're all humans in a room.
yes,
And when I come in, I'm a great reminder of that. And so the different interactive things that I do, and my LDO guarantee is that I don't scare the introverts. But when I come in and play a game or offer something to do, it's just people in a room. So I might say, somebody from over here, come on over. And that could be the CEO. It could be, you know, the
right.
front desk person. Doesn't matter to me because we're all humans in the same room. And humor is such a connector. And one of the things I say is great leaders know a connected team is a productive team. So once I ask a question that I love to ask of strangers, and you can do this too. Next time you're at a business event or a plus one party, let's pretend your significant invites you to a wedding and you don't even know these people, but you're going to go and you're going to sit at this table with strangers and let birds fly around. And you might say, what do you do for a living?
We
Because
always
that's
hear
our
that around.
common go to. No
Right.
harm,
Yeah.
but that's not who you are. So,
Mm,
what you do for a living, I work in the day. I'm an assistant in a police department. I do records, I do dispatch. That's not who I am,
right.
but I am so sorry. She is just 2 months old.
You
She's just a
are
baby.
you are a bird post. I get it.
Yes. And so when you ask someone next to you, Morris, tell me this. What do
Sure.
you do for fun?
Ah, yes, I saw that on your video and I love it and I adopt it right away. One thing I do for fun is on when I walk down the street, I'll talk to a random person. I'll walk by and I'll go, oh, excuse me, I got a quick question for you if you don't mind. Why didn't the queen wave with this hand? Do you know?
Because she was a righty.
No, because it was mine. And because when I ask them, like if I'm walking by and it's like, oh, excuse me, I have a quick question. Or I've done this before. I'll see a bunch of people at a restaurant at a table, especially when I love it when it's old ladies. Because I go, excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt here. But you all look fairly intelligent. And I was wondering if I could ask you this question. And I'm like, yeah, sure, please, yeah. And you can see their face so sincere. They want to help you. And when I ask that question, they're like, you see the gears just going, and all of a sudden, when I give the punchline, they did not expect it. It's like that, as you said, you bring them up here, you bring them down here. But I started down
Yes.
here, and I brought them right up there.
Right. Right. No, and that's what humor does. It flips the narrative. It changes immediately everything that you were doing, working on, or saying. And it's a moment that you share. And that can work in the office. We share a moment of humor and get back to the art of work. And what
Right.
happens is when I go back to answering the phone, there's lightness in my voice. I might be even a little more helpful, and I
Yeah.
might spread that joy to the next person, just as if it was a person at a cashier. and you do that moment of joy, you share one of your silly puns that are fantastic. And then that person's lighter and it goes to the next interaction. That's the ripple effect of joy. So blood pressure goes down.
Yes.
Our natural serotonin is released and our adrenaline is buzzed. So we don't even have to go jogging. We can just share silly puns.
And it's so true. I remember talking to the Canadian Revenue Agency, and we talked to government. I get it. It's hard work. They get the pressure from the above. Like, again, you being in the police force there, working with them, there's that professional, serious pressure, and you can cut the air with a knife. It's so thick. And the elastic band's like ding, like a guitar string. And when you give that humor, boom, that's it. They needed a reason to let go, a reason to let that energy just flow out and laugh.
Yeah, and you look at that in a regular office situation, a regular day job, and you want to go to a person to just vent. Maybe you just get off the phone with somebody who asked you the most ridiculous thing, and you just want to vent. Like, why did they call here? What are they thinking I can do about it? Do you have that work buddy? And are you that work buddy for someone else?
Right.
Where you can share the dark humor or just vent and just blow up about that person because that means you're better on the phone knowing you can go dump on your buddy down the hall quick and you're giving your all to that customer because the customer doesn't know any better generally.
Yeah.
They don't know that you're just asked the same question 20 times already today. So that's not fair to be mean to them. Give
Yeah.
them the great customer service that is lacking anymore. The fact that we at our department answer the phone is a big dang deal. Everything is a phone tree. Everything is a press this, press that, or it's a live chat on a screen. To answer the phone is a big deal. So you might as well make it the best for that person who's calling.
So you saying, answering. Oh, oh, I lost my phone. I guess no phones allowed on the show here. Oh, good,
Oh no, breaking
good,
those rules.
good thing it didn't happen in real life. Like, no. But but I get it. Human interaction. We crave it.
Yes.
Even if extrovert or introverts, in one way, shape, or another, I always tell everybody, and actually, I had a meeting with some managers the other day, and I told them there's three things that people need. They want to be seen, they want to be heard, and they want to be valued.
Hmm. So true. Well said.
Yeah, you give
That's
them
right.
those three, you have a friend for life.
That's right.
And what's the best way to get to those? Humor.
Yay!
Wow.
The best kind of boss accepts a dose of humor, but is also approachable and you feel listened to. That takes eye contact. That takes, the body language that matters. Look into my eyes.
Well, eye contact, right?
Yes, eye contact, or at least turning toward the person, even if you're not great at eye contact. Don't let them talk to the side of your head while you're at your computer. Give them a second. It matters. To feel heard matters. Even if you're just going through your grocery list in your head, let them feel heard. It matters.
I heard this one trick about when you look at somebody, because I know it's kind of tough with the camera because it's only one lens. But how many times you go to look at somebody, it's like, okay, right eye, left eye, right eye, left eye, right eye, left eye, right eye, left eye, right? And the other person's like, okay, will you stop already? And you're like, look at their left eye. So to you, it's to the right. So their left eye. And that is where it connects the most to their brain.
Oh, I didn't know that one. That's nice.
Yeah. That's what I love about meeting different people, and they have so much tips,
Yes.
and it helps me because it's like, okay, which eye? They said one sentence, and once they finish that sentence, I'll go to the next eye.
Right.
Right. Well, before we continue, everybody, you want to check out this video of Lisa to get to know her more. We'll be right back after this video.
Pranking telemarketers who call about your non-existent car warranty during dinner hour is not a hobby for the lighthearted. But Lisa David Olson nearly elevates it to a spectator sport. Whether it's on her podcast, helping businesses with their creative culture, or performing from the stage, Lisa has made it her mission to make sure there are more smiles when she leaves a room than when she arrived.
But I would never, ever keep that cycle going for my boys, who are now 22 and 24 and about 6'6" and 6'3". Those big people came out of me. I just want you. They didn't come out that size, no. They'd be like, "Mommy, look at the dinosaur." Like, holy cow, he talks.
Interactive humor and storytelling are at the heart of Lisa's unique message of how humor saved her life, and how humor provides common ground for seeding new relationships, breaking through past conflicts, and creating previously unsung possibilities. An engaging and entertaining personality with a poignant and clever delivery, Lisa knocks down creative barriers and scatters smiles in her wake.
Welcome back. Wasn't that a great video? Oh my goodness. You got to get a hold of Lisa. Lisa, like, how come your door is not getting knocked down? We want Lisa. Woo!
Oh, it is. I've got guards outside right now. I wanted Morris time.
That's right. Yeah, it's all clear in the front. No. Hey, how has humor helped you in your difficult times?
I wrote about that in my first book called Laughs on Rye, WRY. And I talk about growing up in an alcoholic home. My mother was a functioning alcoholic. And I know today that she was treating mental illness
Ah,
the only way she knew how.
right.
And she would drink at night and change and come into your room and make you get up and clean the bathroom or things like that. So we couldn't have friends over. We couldn't really get a solid night's sleep for fear. And in the day, she would try and make up for it, but not talk about it. So that's how it went back in the day. And we had this roller coaster of relationship. We had such great times and we had such horrid times.
Ah,
So I lived for the great times. Once in a while, humor would break the spell, but a lot of times you can't, as a kid, change an alcoholic parent. And back then, nobody stepped in. So I'm 58. So back then, you didn't have people going, "Oh, I need to report that to somewhere." That's why working where I work now and seeing how many kids are helped so much more through teachers, through different ways is amazing. Humor helped us through that. Me and my siblings. Thank you. And humor would be the thing we would do the next morning and put on shows for each other or make fun of our parents' best friend that we called Swearing Daryl because he was using the F word everywhere. So we would quote him and we just thought we were hilarious. And we eased the pain for each other by just being goofy. And I glommed onto humor. And humor also for me is quite the deflector. If I don't want to talk about something or I don't know the answer, I'm going to use humor. I'm going to make you laugh and you're going to forget that you even asked me a question. So it's also a survival mechanism.
yeah. Wow. It almost sounds like part of what me growing up as well. I I love to be outgoing and have friends. Unfortunately, nobody didn't want to really be my friends. I had some friends, but not really close friends. And so I wasn't really popular. I got bullied on a lot.
Mm.
And so to try to look cool, I use humor. I hid behind humor. Humor became me, even though honestly, I sucked at it.
Mm.
But it was that little bit that made people stop to go, do you did you hear something? I think I heard something over there. I think it's that guy. I'm like, oh, I got noticed.
Right.
And so as I grew up into my adulthood, I hid behind humor so much to the point where it's like I'm using it as a shield.
Right.
It's a mask.
Mm-hmm.
Now I use humor because I healed so much through humor, as funny that is,
Right.
shield, healing, to now I use humor as an expression of me now, an expression to spread joy, to literally go to a military SWAT team member in Mexico, full guard gear on, and I go, "Excuse me, can I ask you a question?" Yeah, sure. And I tell them a joke, and you see them crack up. It's either I have a lot of courage, strength, or stupidity. Fine line.
It's
Fine
probably a
line.
fine blend. Own it. It works, and people need it.
No, absolutely. So I like how you said there, it was a survival.
Hmm. Yes. And when it can turn into a business, that I've had a comedy troupe for 2.5 decades, where a lot of it was sketch comedy written about jokes of town, a musical about the potholes in town, or, a mayor who was only 22 years old, and we'd pat him on the head and give him a cookie, doing a good job. Just different parodies. And we would always say, if you are being parodied, you matter and you are being honored. So take it well, and we always had both sides of the story. Now we're more into the improv humor, similar to Whose Line Is It Anyway? And we do corporate gigs and things like that. I love it. I will ask the audience for ideas, create a story on the spot. And that's how I do that with my speaking as well. And that's why I'm an interactive speaker. But as the world flipped on its ear during the pandemic, we realized, and when I say we, it's mostly my husband and I are the major writers. We realized that humor changed a lot during the pandemic.
Oh,
People want to argue, to be hurt, or to challenge you on your thoughts. And that has become so much bigger once everybody was siloed. And whatever you think of that, we were all separated. And you see it over and over now. It is a pattern that is harder and harder to say, this is funny. And then some, my gosh, that clown over there who is swimming in jello is hilarious. And somebody might come over, well, jello is not on the food group, and I am offended by the red dye number 15. There's always going to be somebody, whether you call them Karens or whatever, that might challenge what otherwise was just lighthearted silliness.
yeah.
And now all of a sudden we're overthinking everything. So I'll just do improv for now because the audience gave me the idea. You can't be mad at me.
That's right. Humor, deflection. Over there now. Improv.
That's right. We can fight about this glass of water later.
Yeah, I really like how you said that, right? It's right. Humor has changed.
Mm.
And like humor from the days of Mark Twain to Charlie Chaplin, right? To Andrew Dice Clay, right? And and you have all these communities how it changes. But there's one thing that has a common thread through it all. People want permission to live, to feel alive. And I really like how you bring that out in people through improv. That's got to be difficult to get volunteers like, hey, who wants to come up here and look silly?
I have a trick that I do,
Oh,
and I don't ever just go, you in the red shirt, get up here. As outgoing as I am, there are days, and maybe you're like this too, Morris. There are days I'm not feeling it and I want to be an audience member and just observe
right.
whatever I might be going through. We all have hormonal days, headache days, very, very tired days, or just crabby. And you might just think, I just want to go to this conference and just watch what's going on. And if somebody goes, hey, you back there with the cool button up shirt, get up here. I'm like, no. So I do have ways of bringing people up, and I've got my card game, and it's called Dare Zone. And I just say, I need somebody from this side of the room. And I always, so far, I always get somebody. And then when that person comes up because they're brave, I say, now you get to pick somebody. Do you see? It's not me bringing someone up. It's them. So I got Frank up there. Now Frank gets to pick Susan, and now they're both up there. Excellent. And then I get more people. And they get to choose different prompts off this card deck, and each card has 2 prompts on it. And I give you 2 cards. Now you've got a choice of 4. And it might encourage you to do storytelling. It might encourage you to talk about a dare or a prank, or to tell a joke, or do something physical. It's your choice. Um, I was at an army base 2 weeks ago
Right.
in a room full of camouflage, and one of the ladies did a cartwheel. And she even said beforehand, she goes, all right, I'm going to do this prompt. And she didn't announce what it was. And she goes, I haven't done this in probably 20 years, so bear with me. And you could see her back up. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's going to be something physical, because I don't know what card she got. And she did a cartwheel. And to 2 weeks later, they're still saying, your cartwheel, why don't you do a cartwheel? It's still going to bring the team together because you did something different. And then you ask them later, how did that feel? Oh, it felt silly, but now I know I can still do things. And then, of course, I give prizes. So that's always a good thing, too.
Rewarding them when they step out of that zone.
And you know what I say? You don't even have to step out of the zone, but you can stretch it a little bit. You didn't wake up in the morning going, I bet at today's conference, I'll be doing a cartwheel in front of all my coworkers. One guy got the card, fire a person and make them move seats or something silly. That's the prompt he chose. So he fired a guy and said, you got to get out of that seat, and you're fired. It's just the most ridiculous thing watching these army guys just play along. And it was so fun.
Oh,
So that brings them together.
I can just imagine they're gonna play it out like, you are fired. Get out of here.
He wasn't, because I don't know who he chose. I don't know their ranks, but yeah, he was just like, don't know how to tell you this. He was pretty diplomatic. Don't know how to tell you this. But Steve, yeah, you don't work here anymore, and you're in my seat. You're gonna have to move. It was just ridiculous.
Oh,
They're still talking about it.
oh my goodness. This is hilarious. I I wish we had like 20 hours just to hit your brain, because I'm I can tell we touch this, we touch that, and there's so much more behind of such great goodness. Any last thoughts you love to share?
It's so important to try the things, even though you might fail. And it's so important to dare yourself daily and do the things that make you sweat in the weird places. That's when your heart goes a little faster. That's when you just feel a little different. And that's the buzz that everybody deserves every day. So if you're not seeking that which scares you a little bit, then are you really living? So dare yourself every day. Do the little things, whether it's, I'm going to go out to the mailbox, I'm going to actually leave the house, whether it's trying a new food, maybe you're going to jump out of a plane, maybe you're going to talk to a stranger like you do, and do something like that, and
Yeah.
more good than bad will happen for sure.
It's interesting you say that. I was talking with one international speaker, Feng Shuo. He's actually the reason why I'm doing this because he challenged me to do a video a day for one whole year.
Oh, yeah.
And he said to me, because I interviewed him, and he said, Morris, try something new every day.
Mm,
Is it a new restaurant? Like he said, him and his wife for I think like 3 months. Whenever they go to a restaurant, it's always a new restaurant. Because if somebody goes to you, hey, have you know a good Chinese restaurant? Someone's like, I don't know. He's like, well, actually, I know three really good ones. If you want the ginger beef, then you want to go to this one. If you want the dessert, then you want that one. And so he feels more alive because it. And I like how you said that. Dare yourself to try something new.
right. It's such a buzz. And if you're on social media, brag about it. Challenge your friends. You were challenged by someone else. You
Yeah.
can pass that along. And even if you do part of the challenge, it's still expanding your comfort zone. You don't
Right.
have to leave it. You really don't.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Lisa, this has
Is
been.
it joke time?
Yes, it is. I would love to hear a joke.
I think I'm going to do something that nobody's done with you before. I'm bringing in my joke stunt double. Are you ready?
What? Okay.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. Let me just get unattached.
Is it your lapel?
All right. Special guest, come on in.
Uh-oh.
Hi.
That's Morris.
Hi, Morris. How are you?
You did. I did not expect it. Right on.
Well, yeah, I'm her stunt double, so I can do the best Lisa David Olson. Oh my God, I am so needy right now. It's
Oh
just
my
crazy.
goodness, Lisa.
Just yeah, exactly.
What happened there? Is there some kind of allergic reaction there or?
Yeah, it's just a little bit of hair growth. That's okay. I mean, every once in a while, I just testosterone. Voice gets deeper, things drop. It's kind of going through puberty all over again. So, anyways, this is a well, it's an Irish pub joke. So,
Ooh.
yeah. So there's a gentleman that walks into an Irish pub, and the bartender says, "What can I get you, sir?" And he says, I'll get me 3 Guinness if I could." And he says, "Okay, I'll do that." And oh, there we go. He sets down a Guinness, and the customer says, "No, I need 3 of them." And he says, "Well, it's going to be a little bit difficult to drink, no, isn't it, sir?" And he says, "Oh, it's no trouble at all. Give me 3 of them, right there lined up." So he gives him 3 Guinness, and the patron starts drinking out of each one of them all the time until they're done. And says thank you, and he goes. And this happens for about a week, and he's a new guy in town. Finally, at the end of the week, he walks in and he orders the same thing. And the bartender says, "I've got to ask you, sir." He says, "This just seems a little strange. What's going on here?" And he says, "Well, here's the deal." He says, "I have one brother that's in the merchant marines." He says, "I have another brother that's in the army, and he's protecting the homeland here." And he said, "We always have a pact that we're going to drink to each other, to drink to each other's health. So I have one for myself, one for my brother in the merchant marine, and one for my brother in the army." And he starts to drink, and he says, bartender says, "That's a great story, sir." So this starts to circulate around town, and everybody starts watching it, and they're amazed at the honor that's shown here. So one day, the patron shows up, and he only orders 2 drinks. And the bartender says, or the pub keep, he says, don't you want 3?" And he says, "No." He says, I can't. He says, I can't. He says, "I only need 2 drinks." So 2 Guinness go up there. He drinks the Guinness. And the rest of the people that have seen this start watching it, and they wonder what's going on. And he says, "Is that a bird with you, or are you happy to see me?" No, he says, uh, they ask the bartender, and the barkeep says, "Oh, I don't know what's going on." So they deduce that one of the brothers died. So they start sending cards to the pub. And after a couple of days, the customer walks in. He says, "I've got to ask you, Clancy." He says, "Is there a holiday I don't know about?"
He says, what do you mean? He says, well, there's all these flowers and all these cards here. He says, is there something I don't know about? And the bartender says, no, they're all for you. He says, for me, what would they be doing for me? And he says, well, everybody's got a little bit concerned here because you always used to order 3 drinks and now you're only ordering 2. And they figured one of your brothers died. And he says, oh, no, my brothers didn't die. No, they're all healthy. They're doing good. He said, but I gave up drinking. So, anyways, I'll turn you.
Is awesome.
I'll turn you back to my lovely wife here. Okay.
And great accent. Really great accent.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. My grandmother's name was Marcella O'Grady. Her father's name was Sean Michael O'Grady. You don't get more Irish than that unless you're tripping over your drunk dead brother at 3 o'clock in the morning. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no. Oh, no.
All right. Take care of yourself. Thank you for the time.
Thank you so much for the joke there. Oh my, that was awesome.
I don't tell jokes.
Double. I love that. That was funny. His accent, his timing, it was beautiful. It was fun.
Yeah, he's pretty amazing.
Lisa, again, I say thank you so much for your time, ×2, because you had you and your stunt double.
That's right.
She's twice as good.
Yes.
And yeah, again, thank you so very much. I really appreciate it. And everybody, make sure to click, like, subscribe, share, and want to get a hold of Lisa? Check out her website, click on the link below, and you get to have this amazing person in front of you. Woohoo! Take care, everybody.
Thank you, Morris.
All right, thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
And thank you, everyone.